Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our daily press briefing. In the Central Division, around 9:45 p.m. on Wednesday, the 16th of May, 2012, the victim, aged 55, of Waterloo Road, Carpichaima, was seated in his white Sunny Almira motor car, registered valued $55,000, which was parked a short distance from his home, when he was confronted by two men, one armed with a firearm, who announced a holdup and ordered the victim out of his vehicle. The victim exited his vehicle and was dealt several blows about his body, resulting in a wound to the head. The suspect then made good their escape in the victim's vehicle. An all-points bulletin was immediately released, and PCs Balkisoon, Sampson, and Roberts, whilst on patrol in the district, received certain information and went to Lisa's Boulevard, Couva, in the vicinity of Tiantec, where the vehicle was recovered and two suspects were arrested, one aged 18 of Dow Village, California, and the other 19 years of Point Lisa's Gardens, Couva. They are now assisting police on inquiries. And in the St. Joseph District, during the period 7:10 p.m. on Wednesday, the 16th of May, 2012, and 1 a.m. on Thursday, the 17th of May, 2012, an exercise was conducted in the St. Joseph District under the supervision of Sergeant Samuel and other officers attached to the St. Joseph Police Station. 8 persons were arrested for various offenses, outstanding warrants, and inquiries relative to outstanding report of robberies. 1 illegal immigrant and 2 men, ages 29 and 28, of McInroy Street, Curepe, and Diamond Road, St. Joseph, were arrested for possession of marijuana, weight 20 grams, and a 19-year-old man of Laventille was also arrested for possession of 1.38 revolver and 5 rounds .38 ammunition. And in the Pinto Arima area, around 8 p.m. on Wednesday, the 16th of May, 2012, the deceased, Armando James, a construction worker, 24 years, of Motley Trace, Pinto, was seated on a plastic chair in front of an open yard at Motley Trace, Pinto, together with a male friend, when they were approached by an unknown man armed with a firearm, who fired several shots at the deceased, who fell to the ground. He was taken to the Arima Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Visiting the scene was Superintendent Nelson, Sergeant Simon, Tom, Mona, and other police officers. Investigations are continuing. And with the Organized Crime and Narcotics Unit, around 5 p.m. on Wednesday, the 16th of May, 2012, a 35-year-old man of Princestown disembarked from a Caribbean Airlines flight to Tobago. A routine check was made of his luggage, and a quantity of cocaine with a weight of 1.66 kgs with a street value of $770,000 was found in his luggage. The man was arrested and is now assisting police on inquiries. In the Southwestern Division, at 11:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 16th May, 2012, officers of the Superior CID, under the supervision of Corporal Ryan Ramsing, executed a search warrant at Erin Beach Road, Erin, at the home of a 22-year-old fisherman, and found a black bag containing compressed marijuana with a weight of 2 kilograms and a street value of $35,000. The man was arrested and charged by PC Martin of the Superior CID for the offense and will appear before a Superior Magistrate today. In the Southern Division, around 9:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 16th of May, 2012, the proprietor of Food Basket Limited at Coffee Street, San Fernando, secured the said supermarket and went away. Around 12:15 a.m., police officers of the San Fernando Police Station responded to an alarm on the said building. On check-in, they found a man 27 years old of Diamond Road, Claxton Bay, inside of the premises, attempting to break out. He was found in possession of a quantity of housebreaking implements. There was no sign of forced entry, and investigations reveal that the suspect may have hid in the building during business hours. The man is to be charged for the offenses of being found in a building with intent and possession of housebreaking implements. He is now assisting police on inquiries. And again, in the Southern Division, this is just a crime advisory. Southern Division Police have been receiving several reports of larceny from vehicles parked at Flower Pot Bay, a small beach area at Pleasance Park, Pointe-a-Pierre. People continue to leave valuables such as laptops in their vehicle and going to bathe. We are advising persons who use that beach area and other areas generally to avoid leaving valuables in your vehicle. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I will now entertain any questions that you may have.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning,
It
sir.
was reported in today's newspapers that the new Anti-Gang Unit was formed and launched yesterday. Could you tell us a little more of this unit?
The information I have is just what you have. It was launched yesterday, and I don't have any further information on how the unit is supposed to operate, but just what we would have released.
So what's the difference between this new unit and former units such as SWORD and ROPE?
Well, of course, they would have a different or increased mandate with respect to gang-related offenses and gang violence on the whole.
So, seeing that this unit has been set up after the state of emergency, where we saw the anti-gang legislation coming into place, and well, according to today's Newsday, 499 people freed under this anti-gang legislation, and one case remaining, one case pending. How or what difference do you see that this unit will make in terms of stemming the gang-related homicides and gang-related shootings, when the anti-gang legislation in itself seemed to have failed?
What I can say is that with any investigation that the police is doing, and all strategies get towards the reduction in crime, that we work with whatever legislation that we have, and gathering evidence, intelligence gathering, and this is how that unit would be operating, acquiring evidence to prove charges under that piece of legislation. So that's how they would be operating from here on.
Okay, will this unit will have the responsibility of tapping phones? Yes.
I would not go into details. I will not go into details as to how they would conduct their investigations, but I am saying that the unit is formed to deal with gang violence and gangs on the whole in the country.
Now, under SWORD, there was some foreign investment, if I would use that term. Would that be, will those foreigners be included in this new unit?
I cannot say.
Okay, what can you say?
That the unit is for my police officers and is geared towards the investigation and dismantling of gangs and gang-related offenses in the country.
And the resources that SWORD had, they would be using it now?
I am saying that the unit will be equipped with resources to carry out their work on that unit. Where the unit were allocated from, I cannot tell you.
Again, going back to SWORD, SWORD was seemingly an elite unit, and the members there were paid higher than regular police officers. Will this unit be seeing that same pay discrepancy?
Well, whatever, what I would say, whatever allowances or whatever, if any extra, that's an internal administrative decision which I cannot disclose or cannot discuss.
Well, that would roll over into the public domain, because when SWORD was on stream, many officers of the Homicide Bureau were very disgruntled that they were doing more or less the same work as SWORD officers and being paid less, and therefore they would not want to do their job as, well, no longer they would do 100%, more like 95, 92%, because SWORD was getting more for doing to them less. So you see how it rolls out of just being an administrative thing into now a public thing.
Well, what I can assure you all is that the unit was formed with certain responsibilities, and the officers are willing and raring to go. And we expect to get some positive results from the implementation of this unit.
Yesterday, you all, Sergeant Meister, I wouldn't say threatened, but he sounded a very stern warning to protesters, and this is nothing new. You also made mention of that during the TCL protests. no one has been arrested yet from the TCL protest. There's video footage of these people pulling things into the road and blocking the roadway. Any headway into making an arrest as a result of Tuesday's protest?
I know persons who are arrested and are being processed maybe as we speak. I cannot say what are the offenses that they were charged with, but I know persons who are arrested arising out of that protest.
Well, I know of one who was arrested and charged for obscene language and stuff like that. Not in relation to that. I'm speaking specifically of blocking the roadway, which you made mention of yesterday, and again before during the TCL protest. Anyone being arrested in relation to that?
I do not have that information.
And last question from me. Yesterday, Crime Watch again would have seemingly breached the Sexual Offences Act by whether inadvertently or directly exposing another identity of another rape victim. Is the police service looking into this?
Well, I did not see the show, and what you're telling me is information that you're giving me here, so that to respond that on behalf of the organization, I cannot make any statement on behalf of the organization with regard to that at this point in time. However, if there were any breaches, I am sure that it would be investigated.
Hi, morning, Ms. Archie.
Morning.
Just want to get a update. Well, I don't know. What is the state of the case with this young man that was arrested at the protest in East Port of Spain, Jonathan Moore? His mother said that he was arrested, but was not charged and taken to the Woodbrook police station, where he still is at this point in time.
Well, my information is that he is presently being processed or charged then. So to tell you what exactly the offenses are, I cannot say. However, I can get that for you as soon as the press briefing, because they are still dealing with him as we speak.
She said when she was speaking to reporters yesterday, she said that her son is always being targeted by the police, and he was beaten on Tuesday night, and his hands were broken, and she was calling on the police commissioner to intervene on this issue, but she wants to know why her son is always being targeted by the police. Any response on that?
Well, to think that any one person is always being targeted by the police, and I would not know what are the previous incidents that may have arisen with him and the police. So I wouldn't want to comment, you know, in all fairness to him and the police officers involved. So I wouldn't want to comment, but of course, if it is that he's making an allegation that the police is always targeting him unfairly, that is, of course, as we always say here from time to time on the press briefing, once there are any allegations against police officers, we ask persons to report it, and it will be investigated.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
First of all, I want to piggyback on the question at heart, please. First of all, we had footage and whatnot of different things, officers doing different things. Question number one, could persons be arrested and charged based on the footage, what was captured on camera?
Once there's the proper investigation is conducted, and of course, the evidence would point to the commission of an arrestable offense, I am saying yes, it can be.
And the actions of the police, I mean, there were allegations, there were brutality, some which was shown on television. There was one with an officer apparently kicking someone. First of all, could those footage on the camera be used, number one? And secondly, is an investigation being launched into any allegations of police brutality?
Yes, whenever an allegation of police brutality is made, it is investigated thoroughly. Any allegations coming out of yesterday's incident will be investigated. The day before, it will be investigated. And yes, I have heard of allegations being made, but they are just allegations. And whatever footage or evidence that the police can acquire to assist in the investigation will be seized, and a thorough investigation will be conducted.
media personnel who said they witnessed or they saw a low-flying aircraft in the vicinity, flying around the area, that kind of thing. Could you tell us if the aircraft that was leased by the police and then placed in a hangar, is it back in use?
I cannot give any information on whether it's back in use or if it has ever been pulled. I cannot say.
Now to the anti-gang unit. Who heads the anti-gang unit, the new unit?
My information is that Mr. Superintendent, Senior Superintendent Martinez.
Now, and Mr. Meisser had alluded to it some time back. There were certain concerns about the legislation, the anti-gang legislation. Some of the senior practitioners, the law practitioners, had also alluded to these concerns about the anti-gang legislation. Now you have formed an anti-gang unit, which should work in tandem, I would assume, with the anti-gang legislation. How will it operate if the anti-gang legislation, there are loopholes, there are problems with the anti-gang legislation? How would the unit operate and not being able to utilize the anti-gang legislation?
I am saying there are several offenses which were identified even under the anti-gang legislation, and offenses of robbery, larceny, motor vehicle, rape, which the police investigate daily. So that to say that they would not be working in tandem with the what is identified in the anti-gang legislation, I cannot comment on that because I cannot say that the legislation is flawed in any way. What I would say is that police officers continue to investigate, and we can arrest persons which may for offenses which can be identified as gang-related as well under other legislations, under the Larceny Act, robbery, larceny motor vehicle.